Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with day 14 of the best of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And it is Tuesday, so it is also Stash Dive Tuesday, a hop brought to us by Scrappy Adam and Rebecca Lockhart. And today's sketch is by Scrapbooking Lauren Tides Incorporated. And I have these two pictures. My brother-in-law is going to kill me, of him and his little Easter baskets. And so I have decided that my stash diving was going to be more of a scrap diving. So I have the solid lavender or lilac colored background cardstock, and then 16 different pieces of scrap paper. And there is some different brands in there. And then in my little container here, I have Stickobilities, Miss Grossman's, Francis Meyers. This is like Easter hodgepodge. And some little die-cut Easter baskets that I'm pretty sure I purchased on eBay in like 2006. So yeah, before I had a Cricut myself, and I got that in 2010, so it was definitely 12 plus years ago. So like I said, it's Stash Dive, and so I am using up just odds and ends. Some of these papers are like, this is Simple Stories. That top pink colored paper, I think is from a Recollections. This is from a Color Box Marble book from Walmart. That is from Cherry Art. So it's a hodgepodge of different brands. I just went through my scrap bin of pattern paper and picked out anything that was pastel-y. So I have my embellishments and my papers, these two hysterical pictures, and this really cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So the first thing I did was use my Creative Memories trimmer to cut that Simple Stories rainbow paper. I think it's from Oh Happy Day. And I cut that down to a 2x2 because I decided that's the size that I wanted my little squares to be. It's in a 4x4 grid in the background, and I thought based on how much space there is on the border, that sounded about right. So I cut just the one, and instead of wasting the blade on my trimmer and the little mat that it sits on, I thought I'd just cut one and then go through and cut the rest. And yes, I cut that out. You're welcome. Nobody needs to see me cut 16 different squares. Actually, I cut 17. So I was not going to do any repetitive papers. However, I do end up using that pinky paper right there. I'm pretty sure that's from Recollections. And it has these flowers, so I cut the flowers out. Now, when all is said and done, you only see one of them and a itty bitty little piece at the bottom of the other one. So you wouldn't even know if you didn't watch me build this page that I had used more than one of the same paper. So other than that, every one of these is different. And so after I got them cut into a 2x2, I went with my T ruler, which is the only ruler that I haven't packed. Ugh, you all, this moving business is crazy. So I went through, and because my squares and the space between them were going to be approximately 9 inches, I decided that I was going to put a little L or a little, corner on each of the areas where the papers were going to go so that I knew where to start. So I used my T ruler to mark 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches over. And then just made a little L. And so I start by putting my papers, little squares, in each of those little L's, or at least at the bottom. And then I even out the two in the middle so that everything is kind of even. Now listen, if you've ever watched any of my videos, you know that I don't do a whole lot of measuring, so getting out a ruler is pretty impressive for me. And I typically kind of wing it when it comes to this kind of stuff, just because it helps me enjoy my scrapbooking more, to not be too OCD about it. And believe me when I say, when I first started scrapbooking, I was really OCD and things. If it wasn't perfect, I put it in the trash and tried again. And I have refused to let it stress me out like that anymore. So I try not to be too terribly concerned that there's an eighth of an inch in between these two and a, fourth of an inch, whatever. So I think overall they're pretty even, but a little wonky. And wonky is okay. Like Scrappy Adam says, I'm embracing the wonk, and it is fine. It has made me enjoy scrapbooking even more. So I try and keep colors apart. There are those two pinks right next to each other, but one of them is like a bright pinky, almost red, and the other one is like a light pink. So I was okay with that, but I had a lot of blue, so I wanted to try and space those out as best I could. And the other thing that I spaced out, which of course after I put the pictures down didn't matter, but there's polka dots on that third one on the left down, and then there's polka dots on that pink one, and then there's polka dots on the blue one, and then the light blue one. So there were a lot of polka dots. Not that I intentionally did that, but it's just how it happened. And I didn't want all the polka dots next to each other, so I tried to move those around a bit. So after I got all 16 squares down, I went and pulled two of the papers that I had, big enough pieces, to mat my picture. And so one of them is that marble from Colorbach, and the other one is this paper I'm using right here, and I have no clue where that came from. I have a bunch of it that is very apparent that it goes together, but I don't know where it came from. I have collected things over the years from hand-me-downs, from dollar store, from garage sales, and recently Facebook Marketplace. So things come to me that way. I'd have no clue. So I have a lot of stash that has been sitting in this room for a very long time. So I'm hoping now that I've had to pack it all to go to our new place, I am going to, when I organize my new workspace in my new place, I'm hoping to pull things out and use them, because I'm not one to just throw things out if I don't want to use them or if I don't like them. So I plan on doing that. So anywho, this layout or the sketch looks like it's got a couple of layers underneath the pictures. So I put mine down on this piece of lavender paper, and then I trimmed around it, but because it's going over the pictures, like it's coming off, not the pictures, it's coming off to the left of the papers. It's going to be lavender on lavender, and even though it's a smidge of a different shade than the background paper, I decided it needed a little something. So I am going to ink it, if I haven't already, with the Villainous Potion. And that is also the color I'm using to stamp with the little Recollections double heart. And I first use spun sugar, and it's very light, and you can't really see it very well on here. I can see it, but not very much. But in person, you can see it, and that's really the big thing. And I just put the little pink ones down in different places, and I know some of it's going to get covered, and I don't care. That's fine. I just wanted to put it where I wanted them, and then whatever gets covered, and it's okay. So I put those down, and then I add in the Villainous Potion in that same stamp. And on the layout, it looks like there's little stars, and that's super cute, but I just love these pictures. My brother-in-law, we had a secret sand dollar while we were at the beach, and every night we would exchange secret gifts, and we had to try and figure out who they were from. And so my daughter thought it would be funny to buy these Easter bunnies with the Easter baskets for my brother-in-law and my sister. And so he somehow ended up with both of them. And my mom got this picture of him wearing the basket on his head, snuggling with the bunny. So it was super humorous. So I had to document them. Yep, luckily he's not a subscriber on my YouTube channel. Anyway, so I'm starting to embellish, and I think I have tacked down my pictures. So I have these different little embellishments. Like I said, I have those Easter baskets. I definitely wanted those on here, and I do pull 3 of them, 2 pink ones and a white one. And I have little Easter eggs and I don't know what else I've got over here. But they are from, I don't know, Miss Grossman's Stickabilities. And like I said, these little Easter baskets are from an eBay purchase I made. And if at the latest 2007. And I still have about 3 more of those in my collection. But we've been going to the beach for 10 years, well, 12 now, starting 2010. And there are many times when Easter falls while we're there, and we do celebrate and acknowledge, but we don't really always do Easter basket stuff. And so it's not like I have like all these pictures of Easter dresses at church and things like that, because we're usually out of town. So I've got to go back to when my little girl was itty bitty and we used to do the Easter dresses and stuff. So anyway, these Francis Meyers bunny rabbits, I decided, even though it's not something that is in the sketch, that I wanted to do this. One, because you can see the little mark from where I marked up in that corner for where the paper needed to start. So I wanted to get that covered. But I really thought that just tucking this bunny in here would be super cute, because you could still see the basket in the bunny's hand. And I have this other one, so I tucked it over here underneath the picture. And I thought that looked cute. So in the sketch, there is some little word phrases, or, what I would assume is journaling or text. And so instead of 3 little lines, which is what's in the sketch, I have 4, because I have 2 phrases and I cut them in half. So one of them says, this came from the Tim Holtz Snarky, and layouts of my brother-in-law is the perfect time to use them. And the first one says, I'm not childish, you're just a big duty head. And the other one says, I've got it all together, but I forgot where I put it. So super fitting for the pictures. I feel like, sometimes it's hard to work with the snarky comments, but when I make layouts like this, it makes it easier. So my brother-in-law are constantly hassling each other, all in fun, because nothing but love, but he would murder me if he sees these. But that's okay. It's fine. So after I get all of those things down, I am going to look for a title. And I wasn't really sure what I wanted to title this, but I did end up coming with some Crafter Square, which is a dollar store. And I pulled one that says YOLO. It's like hashtag YOLO. And the other one says I'm cool. And originally I had the yellow at the bottom and was going to put the I'm cool at the top. But I wanted it to overlap the picture a little bit, and it would have like overlapped like his head. And so I didn't want to do that. So I flipped them and put the yellow up on the top, and put the I'm cool a little overlapping on that Easter basket on the bottom. And I like that much better. I think I'll need to go through and put some adhesive under there, but that's okay. I can do that after the fact. So let's see, I think after that I decided, because the I'm cool is black and there's really not a lot of black or any black on this layout, I would bring in my enamel accents and make the little 3 dots up there by the Easter bunny, down by the other one on the picture, and then 3 over here by the word phrases that I used. Now, that Easter basket on the second square down over on the far right is not attached. And I think I'm going to actually end up attaching it over the little vellum piece in the middle, so that you can't see where the vellum was attached right in the middle. That was my plan. And I set it down on that blue one and didn't attach it. So yeah, see, there it is. And you can see the little spot in the middle of the vellum, which my plan was to cover. So that's what's going to happen in the final pictures that I post on Instagram. You'll see that. So I hope you all will go below to the hashtag for the 30 days of sketches and see the playlist that all the awesome creators are posting to on Instagram and on YouTube. Also, go below to Stash Dive Tuesday and all of the amazing creatives that are creating there too. I hope you all have a great day and happy scrapping.